Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm your host, and as always, I am so excited to jump into today's topic with you.
And I am your resident expert. Really glad to be here to unpack this one.
Yeah, so today we are digging into a very specific, singular document. It's titled Spices for Weight Loss.
Right, which sounds simple, but it actually tackles this huge dietary principle.
Totally. Because, when you decide you want to start eating healthier, there's immediately this really depressing, unspoken assumption that you basically have to trade joy for results.
Oh, absolutely. It's the classic dietary compromise.
Right. It's like you want to manage your weight. Great. Get ready for a lifetime of boiled chicken breast, steamed broccoli, and salads that basically taste like you're just chewing on a damp lawn.
A damp lawn, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it is a completely binary mindset for so many people.
Yeah, flavor or health.
Right. The belief is that you're either enjoying your food or you are managing your weight. You just cannot do both.
It's a clean, simple rule, and it makes people absolutely miserable. But the source material we're looking at today provides a really precise list of ingredients that, honestly, it just completely shatters that assumption.
It really does. It proves you can enhance your food without, expanding your waistline.
Exactly. Our mission today is to unpack this specific strategy for elevating our meals, managing our weight, and keeping our taste buds happy. Because this miserable trade-off doesn't actually have to exist.
Which is such a vital premise, right? Because it tackles the exact reason why most healthy eating initiatives just completely fail. We operate under this bizarre cultural delusion that healthy food is supposed to be an exercise in suffering.
Right, like if it tastes good, it must be bad for you.
Exactly.
So before we get into the exact ingredients this document recommends, we really need to look at the core mechanical promise it makes.
Okay, yeah.
The text explicitly states that we can add flavor to meals without extra calories. And, I mean, on the surface, that sounds like basic common sense, right? Spices don't have calories.
Sure, yeah, we know that.
But when you think about it behaviorally, I was reading this, I was like, this is basically like getting a free premium software upgrade for your food.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Right, like you get all the new exciting features, the really rich flavor, but it doesn't take up any extra hard drive space. The calories are the hard drive space.
That is a perfect way to put it.
So psychologically, how important is it that the text specifically highlights the absence of extra calories when adding this flavor?
Well, I mean, it's massive because that mental math of eating is usually just so exhausting.
Oh my gosh.
That exhaustion is what we call cognitive load, and it is a huge barrier. Think about traditional flavor enhancers in a standard Western diet.
Okay, like butter, cheese, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Butter, heavy creams, sugary glazes, those thick oil-based sauces, they are incredibly calorically dense.
Right, they take up a ton of hard drive space.
Exactly. So for someone who is actively trying to manage their weight, adding flavor usually comes with a heavy dose of guilt. It becomes this endless negotiation in your head.
Oh, I know that negotiation. If I put this aioli on my sandwich, I have to spend an extra 30 minutes on the treadmill.
Yes, the math is always hanging over your head. It ruins the meal before you even take a single bite.
It totally does. You feel like you're taking out a high-interest loan just to, enjoy your lunch.
And that is exactly why the absence of calories in this context isn't just a physical metric. It's a profound psychological relief.
Yeah, I can see that.
When the text highlights that you can achieve elevated flavor without those extra calories, it's removing that mental math entirely. It gives you permission to actually enjoy your food without the subsequent guilt.
Wow, so it's not just about eating less, it's about eating better.
Precisely. Because if we dig a little deeper into the biology of why diets fail, we hit upon a concept called sensory-specific satiety.
Okay, wait, what is that? Break that down for me.
So satiety, or feeling full, isn't just about the physical volume of food stretching your stomach out. Your brain also requires sensory stimulation to feel satisfied. When you eat something extremely uniform and bland, like that plain-boiled chicken we mentioned,
Right, the damp lawn center.
yeah, the damp lawn, your stomach might get physically full from the volume, but your taste buds and your olfactory receptors, they habituate very quickly. They get bored.
Oh, wow. So your brain registers the volume, but it doesn't feel like you actually had a satisfying meal.
Exactly. We call it diet fatigue.
Oh, that makes so much sense. It's that feeling when you finish a quote-unquote healthy meal and you're physically full, but you're immediately rummaging through the pantry looking for a snack.
Yes, your stomach is done, but your brain is still hungry.
Your brain is starving for flavor.
Right. And that sensory boredom is exactly what sends you running for something highly processed, hyper-palatable, and, calorically dense.
It's the downfall of every diet.
It really is. By focusing on ingredients that deliver high-impact taste without the caloric baggage, this source document is addressing the neurological need for flavor. It offers a sustainable approach, not a restrictive one.
So we established that flavor is biologically necessary to actually stick to a healthy eating plan. But the text doesn't just say, hey, make your food taste good.
No, it is very specific.
Yeah, it gives us a really precise roadmap. So it lists 6 specific spices. I'm going to read them exactly as they appear in the source.
Okay, go for it.
We have turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cumin, black pepper, and chili peppers.
It is a remarkably deliberate toolkit.
And this is where I really, honestly, I need to push back a little bit on behalf of the listener.
All right, let's hear it.
Look, out of the literal thousands of ingredients and herbs and seasonings in a modern kitchen, it's fascinating that the text isolates this exact squad of 6.
It isolates them for a reason.
Well, I mean, I have most of these sitting in my pantry right now, right? I like cumin as much as the next person, but let's be brutally honest. Is sprinkling some cumin on a piece of steamed fish actually going to stop me from craving a double cheeseburger on day 4 of a new diet?
That is exactly the right question to ask.
Yeah.
Because it forces us to look at what a craving actually is.
Okay, what is it then?
Well, you think you're craving a cheeseburger, but what your brain is actually screaming for is intense sensory engagement. Modern fast food is engineered to hit every single pleasure center in your brain all at once.
So it's basically a sensory overload.
Exactly. To combat that without using heavy fats and sugars, you need a culinary toolkit that can provide an equally complex sensory experience. And if we look at these 6 specific spices, they aren't just random, they basically cover the entire spectrum of our palate.
Okay, let's pull the thread on that. How do these 6 spices cover that entire spectrum?
Let's start with the high notes. The chili peppers and the black pepper. These aren't just about taste. They're actually about a physical reaction.
What do you mean by physical reaction?
Well, chili peppers contain an active compound called capsaicin, and black pepper contains piperine. When you consume these, they literally bind to specific pain receptors on your tongue.
Wait, really? So the spice is literally triggering a pain response?
Yes, but it's a very mild, localized one. And in response to that mild pain signal, your brain does something completely fascinating. It releases endorphins and dopamine.
No way. So it's like a natural high.
Exactly. It provides a subtle, natural high. So suddenly, eating that piece of chicken isn't a passive, boring experience anymore. The heat wakes up your nervous system.
Wow, it makes the meal an actual event.
Right. It demands your brain's attention, which immediately increases your level of satisfaction with the food.
That is wild. I always just thought of spicy food as a flavor preference, not an actual neurological trigger.
It's pure biology.
Okay, so that covers the heat, the high notes. What about ginger and cinnamon? Because those feel completely different. I mean, you aren't putting cinnamon on a taco.
Usually not, no. But cinnamon and ginger operate on a completely different physiological pathway. They rely on the olfactory illusion.
The olfactory illusion.
Yeah, so our brains evolved over millions of years to associate certain smells with dense, valuable calories. When you smell something warm and sweet, your brain immediately anticipates sugar.
Oh, that makes sense. Like in modern cooking, cinnamon is almost exclusively paired with sugar, right? Like in baked goods or sweet coffees.
Exactly. If I say cinnamon, you probably think of a cinnamon roll.
I instantly think of a cinnamon roll.
Right. So when you add cinnamon or ginger to a healthy breakfast, like, say, plain oatmeal or a smoothie,
You're hijacking that neural pathway.
you are. The olfactory receptors in your nose pick up those warm, sweet notes, and they send a signal to your brain that a sweet treat is incoming.
Oh, wow. So you get the psychological satisfaction of consuming something sweet and comforting, but without the insulin spike.
Yes, and without the empty calories of actual sugar,
Yeah.
you're satisfying that sweet-seeking part of your palate through aroma rather than glucose.
It's essentially a culinary hack for your brain. You're giving the brain the experience of dessert without the metabolic cost.
Precisely. And then finally, we have to anchor the whole thing with the savory depth. And that is where the cumin and turmeric come in.
Okay, so these are like the base notes.
Exactly. They provide the earthy base notes of our culinary chord. Turmeric contains an active compound called curcumin, And cumin is just rich in complex, volatile, essential oils.
And how do those function in the brain compared to, like, the heat or the sweetness?
Well, they hit the back of the palate and provide this profound sense of earthiness and richness. When people crave heavy, calorically dense foods like your double cheeseburger example earlier,
Yeah, the hardest craving to beat.
right, they are often actually craving umami, that deep, savory satisfaction that usually comes from animal fats, roasted meats, or aged cheeses.
Okay, and cumin and turmeric can replicate that.
They mimic that depth perfectly. They coat the palate in a way that feels heavy and substantial. They literally trick the mouth into feeling like it's eating something much richer than, say, a simple piece of lean protein or a bowl of lentils.
Oh, so putting this all together, you aren't just trying to make the steamed fish taste marginally better.
Not at all.
You're using capsaicin to trigger endorphins, cinnamon to create a phantom sweetness, and cumin to simulate rich, heavy fats.
You're systematically checking off every single box that the brain is looking for when it initiates a craving.
That is the magic of this specific squad of 6. It's a completely closed system that can fundamentally alter the profile of almost any dish.
And it makes the no extra calories rule incredibly versatile across so many different types of dishes.
Because if your palate is constantly stimulated by different parts of that spectrum, the heat one night, the warm sweetness the next morning, the savory depth for lunch, you just don't feel deprived.
Exactly. You don't feel like you are white-knuckling your way through a diet. You just feel like you're eating incredibly complex, delicious food.
And you haven't changed the caloric math at all.
Not by a single calorie.
It fundamentally changes the experience of eating healthy food.
Yeah.
But there is a crucial caveat in the text that we have to address before we wrap up.
Oh, definitely. Context is everything here.
Right. We've established how powerful these 6 spices are mechanically and biologically. But the document doesn't just hand us this list and say, sprinkle this on everything and you'll drop 20 pounds.
No, it is highly realistic.
It provides a very specific instruction on how they are meant to be used within a broader lifestyle. The source explicitly states that these spices, and I'm quoting here, complement a balanced diet for healthy weight management.
Complement. That is arguably the most important word in the entire document.
I really want to focus on that word because I think the wellness and diet industry is uniquely obsessed with finding a magic bullet.
Oh, we love a quick fix.
We want to believe that if we just drink, apple cider vinegar or eat a specific berry, or in this case, just eat a ton of turmeric, we can totally ignore everything else we put in our bodies.
But that's just not how biology works.
Exactly. I like to think of these spices like the beautiful paint on the walls of a house, not the foundation itself. You can't just build a house out of paint.
That is an excellent way to conceptualize it. If your foundation is crumbling, if you literally have no walls, the most expensive paint in the world isn't going to give you a house.
Right. The text doesn't say these spices replace a balanced diet. It says they complement it. So what does this tell us about the text's overall philosophy on weight?
Well, it shows how remarkably grounded the source material is. It completely rejects that quick fix culture. By using the phrase healthy weight management and linking it to the word complement, it positions turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cumin, black pepper, and chili peppers as powerful allies within a larger system.
And that system is the balanced diet itself.
Yes, getting adequate protein, fiber, healthy fats, and micronutrients, that's non-negotiable.
So how does that synergy actually work in practice? If the balanced diet is the engine, what role are the spices playing?
They're the oil that keeps the engine running without burning out. Think about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource.
Oh, absolutely. It depletes so fast.
Right. If your balanced diet consists of bland, uninspiring food, every single meal requires an enormous expenditure of willpower. You literally have to force yourself to eat it.
And eventually, your willpower just depletes. You experience that diet fatigue, and you give up. You fall right back into the damp lawn salad trap.
Exactly. But when you deploy these specific spices effectively, you remove willpower from the equation entirely.
Because it's not a chore anymore.
Precisely. The synergy is this. The balanced diet provides the nutritional framework required for your body to manage its weight healthily. The spices provide the sensory satisfaction that makes eating that balanced diet a genuinely preferable experience.
You aren't forcing yourself to eat well anymore, because the healthy choice actually tastes better and feels more satisfying than the alternative.
The true insight for the listener is that healthy weight management requires a balanced diet, and that diet is made sustainable by using these spices.
Because it isn't really discipline if you are deeply enjoying the process. If your dinner is seasoned brilliantly, hitting those savory notes with cumin and waking up your palate with chili pepper, you aren't actively dieting in that moment. You're just a person enjoying a fantastic dinner.
And that is what sustainable, healthy weight management truly looks like. It's not a temporary, frantic phase of restriction. It is a long-term approach to food that you can maintain for decades.
Because you're no longer fighting your own biology every single day.
Exactly.
So bringing all of this together for you listening right now, the takeaway from this document is deeply practical. You have a culinary toolkit of 6 specific spices.
Turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cumin, black pepper, and chili peppers.
Right. They aren't just arbitrary flavorings. They are your ultimate culinary toolkit for adding robust flavor to your meals without any extra calories.
And serving as the perfect complement to a balanced diet.
Yes. They hack your olfactory receptors, and they satisfy your biological need for savory depth, all without adding a single extra calorie to your daily budget.
They bridge the gap between what you know you should eat and what you actually want to eat.
Which is the ultimate goal. Never suffering through a sad, bland meal again while still achieving your health objectives.
Truly the best of both worlds.
I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder, something to take with you into your kitchen tonight based on what we've explored.
I love this.
The next time you are preparing a meal or sitting down to a plate of food and it feels a bit dull or uninspiring, stop for a second. Ask yourself, are you actually craving extra calories just to feel physically full? Or is your meal just missing the right flavor?
Such a powerful question to ask yourself.
Which of these 6 spices could completely change your plate and your approach to healthy eating right now? Because as we've learned today, the choice isn't between flavor and health. You just need to know how to use your toolkit. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.